Hello and welcome everyone. My name is Drew and I'll be bringing you a stay-at-home webinar presented by
GroovyTek.
Who is GroovyTek, you ask? GroovyTek is dedicated every day to helping folks become comfortable and confident navigating their personal technology devices independently and on their own terms. GroovyTek trainers provide one-on-one technology training sessions anchored in respect and patience, both in-home and over the phone. I like to say we bring the classroom to the home. We want to get you independent on these devices so you don't have to reach out to maybe your grandchildren. And eventually, hopefully, you'll be independent of GroovyTek.
Hello everyone, my name is Matt Monroe and I'm one of the founders here at GroovyTek. Before we get started with today's presentation and Q&A, I wanted to thank you all for taking the time to be part of this webinar. The support and relationships we've been able to develop with our clients over the years is our greatest single asset and gift. So I truly do thank every single one of you for being a part of this. I will say before we start, we are learning as we go in terms of building out new content to be shared across these new platforms. Yes, we are a company that helps people with technology, but we are not a technology company per se. We are in the business of helping people manage and navigate their technology in a patient and respectful manner. That is what we are going to try to accomplish with our upcoming webinar and all of our new online-based content. So, with all that being said, we understand that right now people are looking for information to help them navigate these ever-changing days. We are going to work to improve every aspect of our company in these times, and we are going to pivot our priorities so that we can help as many people as we can. What we do know is this: many people can benefit from the knowledge and support of our personal technology trainers. Please bear with us today if there's any snags. This is our first true attempt at developing and putting on webinar-based presentations. Please know that we do believe feedback truly is a gift, so we will most likely be following up with you directly in the coming days. We'd love to see if you have ideas on how we can make these the best possible webinars available for everyone to learn from. Again, this is an unprecedented time, and we are dedicated to being of service to our clients and our friends. This is just the first step of our evolution to being a provider of content and training available for you in your home. Thank you.
Today we'll be covering the Staying Safe webinar. Browsing the internet is a great way to pass the time, whether you're shopping online, looking at news articles, or trying to research something. It's a fantastic resource. But when you spend more time on the internet, your risk of being hacked increases. You might lose important files, banking information, and more. So today we're going to be covering a few different topics regarding staying safe online. Especially with the pandemic we're dealing with today and many people on stay-at-home orders, we want to be able to help you navigate your technology devices safely and feel confident while doing so. We're going to be covering 6 areas. The first one we'll be covering is hacking. Hacking is someone gaining access to or stealing your personal information online. We'll be covering protection, things like antivirus programs, safe habits, and best practices for passwords. We'll be covering passwords. What is a best password? What does GroovyTek suggest as a best practice for your password? And also how to keep your banking and other information online safe using strong passwords. We'll also be talking about social media. For those of you who use social media, we want to help you keep safe habits online and help keep your information safe. We're going to be covering storage. We're going to be covering the difference between external, physical, and cloud storage. And also, is the cloud safe? And we'll be talking about photos at the end, because photos, they go hand in hand with storage and especially cloud storage. So let's talk about hacking. Hacking, also known as data breaching, is the outcome of someone gaining access to personal information against a user's will without their knowledge or consent through various means. So a hacker, he has malicious intent. He is trying to break into your private information, either for financial gain or to cause harm to you. Who is it? So hackers are out there to steal information, whether it be from a corporation. I'm sure you've all been familiar with the big corporate hacks that have been happened in the past, like Capital One and other big names. They also target personal information. So whether they're targeting you with a phishing scam, which we're going to be covering today, where you click possibly a link in an email that sends you to a website that steals your information. But these hackers have malicious intent at the end of the day, and they're out there to either gain financially from you or cause you emotional harm. These hackers, a lot of times you're familiar with them possibly being from overseas. You may have heard the calls. We get a lot of phishing calls, especially from our landline phones. So what do they do? Well, they steal information and infiltrate companies. One of the easiest and most prominent hacks today is targeting large corporations. A lot of times, trying to target the individual won't result in a huge financial gain for the hacker. So they'll target a large corporation, like a credit card company, or even a retail store that has access to thousands or maybe millions of credit cards in their database. These hackers look to hack into these companies to steal these databases full of information in hopes to gain financially from them. So let's talk about the different types of hacks. There's many different types of hacks out there today. I'm sure you guys have heard maybe possibly of terms like malware, viruses, worms, phishing scams. There's quite a few different terms and popular types of hacks out there. Possibly a keylogger you've heard of, one that tracks the keystrokes on your computer, an attempt to steal maybe bank account passwords or other pertinent information. One of the most popular hacks that we deal with today are phishing scams. One of the reasons we do this webinar series is to arm you with the knowledge that you need to help protect yourself. Because at the end of the day, you are the final gate to stop these hackers from gaining personal information. If you are a victim of a phishing scam, you've essentially opened the door and let them in. These phishing scams can come in forms of emails, malicious emails masked to fool you into thinking it's from an official website or retailer like Amazon. We see many different types of phishing scams, everything from confirming your receipt to we've suspected suspicious activity on your account and you're required to click a link maybe to reset your password. Those are the types of phishing scams that are aimed to target you, to get you to click on those links, type in your passwords, and then the hacker on the other end is actually taking the information that you've typed in. They've gotten really good at masking themselves through email. We always suggest that you look at the sender of the email. If you highlight with your mouse or click on the sender of the email, it will reveal the actual address of the email. If it's from Amazon, or let's say Apple, it should have an official Apple email address. Also, we like to take a look at the body of the email. If the email has maybe broken English, or words misplaced, or it just doesn't read right, that a lot of times is an alarm for us to know that this is possibly a phishing scam. Another phishing scam that we deal with is over the phone. It is a huge problem right now, everything from IRS scams to your cable provider calling. These people call pretending to be a service or source that you use, possibly even Microsoft, trying to trick you into either paying them money to help clean your computer, or maybe give them information because they are going to refund you money on a product that is no longer supported for your machine. We see various types of phishing scams. At the end of the day, we encourage people to never give up any personal information to anyone over the phone calling. There are no retailers or even the IRS will not call you, which they have made an official statement on, asking you for your personal information. So we urge you to please do not give up any personal information over the phone if you are at all suspicious. And if you are, we encourage you to hang up and call GroovyTek. GroovyTek can help answer these questions over the phone and help determine if that was a phishing scam or a legit call. We also encourage you to call the actual company or financial institution that is claiming to be them. So if you get a call or a text claiming you had fraudulent charges on your credit card, don't call back the number that called you. Please hang up if you had answered the phone and call your financial or credit card company directly and ask them if that was an official call. So you ask, how do we protect ourselves? Well, like I stated before, knowledge is our number one power. When we arm ourselves with the knowledge of the various types of scams that we can fall victim to, it helps us navigate the personal and technology space much better. We're going to talk about some antivirus and firewall programs that we can install on our personal device or computer to help protect us. But again, at the end of the day, even if we have these fences in place, if we fall victim to a phishing scam and give up our personal information or let them onto our computer, we've essentially opened the gate for them to come in freely. So help, I've been hacked, now what? If you fall victim to a hack, we do not want you to stress. GroovyTek is here to help. The first thing you want to do is definitely call your financial institution if you believe you are a victim of some sort of credit card or bank account fraud. Make sure that they are aware immediately. They deal with this almost every day, and they'll take the proper steps to secure your account, hopefully return your funds, and issue you a new credit card. You also want to change any passwords that you may have been using online or on your personal device. If you are banking online or banking through your phone, you may have fallen victim to a hack or phishing scam, or possibly even a keylogger from an email link. If that's the case, we always recommend changing your passwords. You can never be too safe when it comes to these hacks, especially with the financial hacks that are happening today. We want to let our financial institution know right away, and we want to change all passwords that are used with our online banking. You also want to change passwords to any retail stores you may have used those credit cards on. The company could have fallen victim to a hack or a data breach, or you could have fallen victim to a malicious link that took your information. We also want you to call GroovyTek. GroovyTek can help, even over the phone, scan your computer, clean it of any viruses and malware, and make sure you get back to safe working order. Now, talking about passwords, what is a strong password and what are best practices for passwords? Nowadays, it seems like everything is hidden or behind a password. One password protects all of our banking account information, all of our personal information. So we always recommend using strong passwords. We also do not recommend repeating the same password across multiple sites, especially if you have a banking website or a financial website or something with your social security number. We don't want to use those passwords on other websites. We want to make sure that those passwords are unique. At GroovyTek, we recommend using a combination of letters, numbers, and symbols, and at least 10 characters long. We encourage you to place special characters at the middle of your password and not just at the beginning or the end. And we encourage you to capitalize letters and not just the first letter. Capitalize maybe a few letters throughout your password. This helps create strong passwords and especially helps protect you from brute force attacks. There are many databases out there with hacked passwords from other users, and you'd be surprised how many users use the same password. Especially basic passwords like password 123. So we want to stay away from passwords like that, or passwords involving maybe our name, our dog, our pet, or our family member. Those are very commonly used and easy to guess passwords. Hackers can gain access to our account much easier if we have one of these easy to use passwords. Also, hackers like to move on from victim to victim. If you have strong passwords and they're not able to get into your system or your account, they will most likely move on to the next victim. Another thing we suggest is enabling two-factor authentication. Two-factor authentication can help add an extra layer of security. So if someone does sign into your account, you'll receive a notification via email or text message, allowing you to accept or deny that connection. That will let you know that someone is trying to gain access to your account, in which you can change your password. So let's talk about the do's and don'ts. Like I mentioned before, we don't want any personal words. We don't want to use a string of numbers like 1, 2, 3, 4, or just the word password. All these things are easy for hackers to guess or infiltrate, or use brute force methods, computer programs that can guess your password and break into your account. Now we want to talk about password management. We all know we have a dreaded sheet of paper or possibly a password book where all of our passwords are written down. If that's the case, I do encourage you to purchase a safe or some way of locking up that password book or sheet of paper if you were to leave the home or go on vacation, or if you have people in and out of your home. There's many different password managers out there today. Things like LastPass, Dashlane, 1Password. These are all apps or programs aimed to make your life easier managing passwords. What they do is store all of your passwords behind one master username and password. They store them in a vault of, say, where you can access those passwords in the future if you need, or the app can autofill that password into a website for you so you don't have to remember it. There are positives and negatives to password managers. Some of the positives are that they store all your passwords in one place, easy for you to retrieve. They also make it easy for you to autofill your passwords into multiple websites, so you don't have to grab that sheet of paper or book every time you need to log in. The downsides are they are hidden or secured behind one username and password. So if you were to lose that username and password, there is a chance you could lose access to all of your passwords. The other downside is if someone were to gain access to that master username and password, there is a chance that they could access your entire password vault. Most of these password managers are very, very safe and are great tools to use. I encourage you to use maybe the iCloud keychain if you're on an Apple device, or possibly even LastPass if you're using an Android device. The great thing about these apps is they'll sync with your phone and your computer, meaning if you change or log into a website with a password on your computer, it will also update on your mobile device. So we're going to move into social media. For those of you that are on social media, we know it can be maddening with people who share too much information. Maybe their political views, maybe what they eat every night. We know that we can actually unfollow or remove some of these posts that we see on a day-to-day basis on Facebook. Some of us may only use Facebook to keep up with family or grandchildren and things of that nature. Some of us use it to post our political opinions, news, or maybe just to keep up with the world and things that are happening on a day-to-day basis. A lot of things are being broadcast on Facebook before we hear them in other resources. Especially during times like this, a lot of the new stay-at-home orders were announced live on Facebook. But we want to help keep you protected. We want to help make sure that you are not sharing too much of your personal information. Social media can also be a target to phishing scams. They can send you malicious links into your message box or try to connect with you. We want to make sure that we only connect with friends. And we want to make sure that we change our settings off of public to friends. If social media and privacy is a concern to you, we want to make sure that we are not sharing our information with everybody that's on Facebook. GroovyTek can help you and walk you through the steps of changing those settings and making sure you are private and all your information is hidden on Facebook. Now we're going to talk about storage. We've all heard about the cloud. We've all heard about backing up our computer. We think that no matter what device you have or what computer or how old, you can always benefit from a backup. Whether that be your mobile phone, say you have an iPhone and you're backing up to the cloud, or you have a personal computer and you're backing files up to a hard drive. Backing up your computer or personal device is a must, we think, here at GroovyTek. If you have a personal phone, whether it be an iPhone or an Android device, if your phone were to get lost or stolen, and you had the proper cloud backups, we would be able to restore your phone just as if you had never lost or it had never broken. With your desktop or laptop computer, we also have iCloud or cloud backups, but we also have external or physical backups. And these happen to an external hard drive or possibly a USB thumb drive. Flash drives are common storage devices that people use on an everyday basis. These are usually a little bit smaller in size. They don't hold quite as much as a full external hard drive, but it's a great way to take files and documents on the go, or even pictures on the go. It's a great way to also quickly transfer files from one computer to another if you just need to do a couple files. Now we'll talk about the cloud. Storing files in the cloud is a recommended way of backing up both your mobile devices and your computer. Now here at GroovyTek, we recommend a cloud backup and an external backup. You can never be too safe when backing up your files, especially from your personal computer, maybe it personal photos or documents that you just can't afford to ever lose. We get many questions. Is the cloud safe? We consider the cloud very safe and is usually protected not only by a password, but many times two-factor authentication. You may have heard of many different cloud services. One is Google Drive, one is iCloud, one is OneDrive. There are also many others you may have heard of, like Dropbox and a few others. These are the three main ones that we see on a day-to-day basis and are the best options for the cost. If you have a Windows 10 computer, you most likely have OneDrive already pre-installed on your computer and active with your 5 gigabytes free. If you have an Apple computer or an Apple device, you are opted into the iCloud and you are receiving your 5 gigabytes of free storage. If you have an Android device or a Google account, you also have access to a free 15 gigabytes a month. You can see the pricing also there for additional storage. These cloud storages can be used to back up just a few files from your computer that you pick and choose. Maybe it's just your photos. Or you can use them to back up your entire machine. The iCloud is especially used to back up iPhones and tablets and Apple mobile devices. Google especially comes with Android phones, and again OneDrive with Windows computers. We recommend using these cloud storages to back up at least photos or other important documents that you don't want to lose, along with backing them up on a physical external hard drive. Photos are very, very important to this. Unlike prints or negatives, digital images can be lost forever in a catastrophic hard drive failure or even accidentally deleted with a few clicks of the mouse. You can never be too safe when it comes to backing up your photos. If you're using a device like an iPhone or an Apple device, or even an Android device with Google Photos, your photos most likely are automatically being backed up into the cloud. GroovyTek can help you set that up on your mobile device or computer so that every photo that you take not only is backed up to the cloud, but also gets synced to your computer automatically. If you do have photos that are on your physical hard drive of the computer, we recommend backing those up to a cloud source or even to an external hard drive. This will ensure if something were to happen to the computer, we would have your photos still on an external hard drive or cloud source to retrieve. While storing photos on your computer is great, one of the great features of the Apple devices is that they come with the Photos app in iCloud. This allows you to automatically back up any photo that's on your computer or taken by your mobile device to be backed up into the cloud. So if we were to experience a catastrophic hard drive failure, or our device stopped working, or even broke, we would be able to retrieve those photos from the cloud. The other most common way to back up photos and files is an external hard drive. You can see an image of one there. It plugs into the USB port on your computer and allows you to make copies and duplicates of your files and even a copy of your entire computer and store it on that external hard drive so that you can retrieve and use it later. Backups are of the utmost importance, we believe here at GroovyTek. You can never be too safe when it comes to backup, whether that's cloud or external hard drives. We recommend using a combination of both if possible. And like I've mentioned before, the cloud is an excellent way to store photos. Many of our mobile devices come automatically enabled to store our photos in the cloud. Google Photos is a great application if you don't have it already on your mobile device or computer. It allows you to back up any photos taken from your mobile device and view them from any machine that has internet connection. That means you can get on your computer, you can log into your Google Photos account, and view all of your photos. This creates a backup as well. So if your mobile device were to go down, or your computer were to go down, your photos are always safe in the cloud. Like I mentioned before, Google Photos is a universally used app that can be used across a multi-platform like an iPhone, a Windows PC, a Mac computer, or even an Android device. If you're a user that has a multi-platform home, like an iPhone for a phone and a Windows computer for a PC, Google Photos may be your best solution. Google Photos will back up your photos on your iPhone, allowing you to retrieve them on your Windows PC seamlessly. If you own an Apple device, you may want to use the iCloud. The iCloud Photo Library is an amazing tool that allows you to automatically back up photos from your Apple device, your mobile device, and sends them instantly to all of your other devices. So if you've taken a photo on your iPad, if you pick up your phone and go to the Photos app, there's a good chance that photo's already there. Same with your PC, and same with your Apple laptop. Now, iCloud does have a program for Windows called iCloud for Windows that allows you to automatically sync your iCloud Photos account with your Windows computer. That's something that GroovyTek can help get installed on your computer, set up, and get all of your photos downloaded. That comes to the conclusion of our webinar. I want to thank you all for coming and taking the time out of your day. We're going to take the next 15 minutes to answer some questions. Please be in mind there is about a 20-second delay